Welcome everyone to Catholic Ministry YouTube. Thank you for being here. And today we have a great Catholic, a guy who has made a shift into what he was doing, at least to my knowledge, in social media. And now it's a Catholic traditional rapper. So I'm impressed and I'm super cool by this amazing now ministry that's handling. And for the spectators, Enoch, but for the friends, Fawaz, how you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you having me on, Edwin.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I know we postponed this, but God knows what he does, and it is the time, right and just. And let's go to this, man. I have a specific topic I want to really talk to you about, which is something that I was lacking of for a long time until I had to do a lot of reading, a lot of prayer.
Mhm.
But you know what? Like I think that that's so sad that it had to take me so long for me to understand what is truly manhood about. So
Mhm.
today I want you to share with us what do you know, what are your knowledge, what are your thoughts about what does it mean to be a man?
No, that's a powerful question. Thank you for that. Listen, I grew up the same as everybody else, in a '90s kid, with all the pop culture and I guess all what's called the effeminization of manhood. And I was through it. I went to public school, and it wasn't really until I got married, and even a little bit after marriage, I didn't understand what manhood was. I got married because I had to get married. Although I didn't get married in the church, I had enough sense, I guess you would say, to do that. My wife,
Yeah.
my wife is Catholic. I went to Catholic school her whole life. I was a Protestant for about 6 months. Reverted back to the Catholic Church. And a lot of it was due to the church fathers mostly, but some of it was also due to Pope Benedict because at that time he became Pope. This was about 2005. I was really impressed with his early on papacy. I was keeping a close eye on it, so I reverted back to the Catholic faith. And God rest his soul, holy memory. So it was difficult for me to understand what manhood was, and I had bits and pieces of it. I knew a man provided, a man protected. My father did that. He did it very well. But it wasn't until I would say 2 years within my marriage where it was a Saturday morning. I woke up and I was going through YouTube and I saw a talk on Sensus Fidelium, which is the first time I had seen that channel at the time, and it was Father Isaac Mary, the Brooklyn priest, him, the Franciscan, and he was giving a talk and about manhood, and man, something about his presence and his message struck something to me. I've always understood the natural law, even though I never understood it in the supernatural sense.
Right.
So that talk was just struck a chord. Like it's just what got everything going as far as me understanding the traditional aspect of manhood. So that's when I really started to understand that manhood is an interior, not an exterior. Of course, it's an exterior in the fact that, in the biological sense, manhood exists, and it's unfortunate nowadays that we have to say that to clarify it. But it's an interior discipline on a white martyrdom on a daily basis to will the greater good of the other individual, regardless of how one feels, in good reason. And that's how I view manhood. And virtue. What virtue really is the act that is done over and over again in a good moral act. And the more good moral decisions that we make, the more, I guess, the more enjoyable they become and easier they become for us. So, to me,
Right.
that's what manhood is that the interior discipline to die to oneself for the greater good of the other.
Quick announcement, everyone. We want to let you know that we have 100% Catholic t-shirts because we want to spread the message as we go walking. We got so many stories of how we've been doing this for 4 years. So we we go out there and so many people read our shirts and they get to us and they talk to us and they ask, "What is this? What does this mean?" And this way we spread the message of the gospel, spread the message of Catholic faith. So we have available many amazing things. Here they are. We have available Ave Maria t-shirts in different colors. We have also Christ is King, Deus both. We have as well the message of Our Lady of Fatima in Spanish in different colors. We also have Gloria in the Sacerdotes Deo and the latest Passion Christi Confortame. We have I Trust in You, Sacred Heart of Jesus. We also have Pray, Hope, and Don't Worry from San Padre Pio, our beloved saints. And also the great motto from San Ignacio Loyola, Agere contra, act against, do the opposite, meaning grow in virtue, do the opposite. And also we have Viva Cristo Rey from Los Cristeros and much more to come. These great shirts are super great quality, the best quality in the market right now. Super lightweighted. You don't get hot. It doesn't shrink when you wash them and stuff. So please go ahead. We're gonna leave the link below so you can acquire and also gift away a great message of a Catholic faith. And remember, we got in Latin, we got in Spanish, and we also got in English. And there's much more to come. God bless you, and let's get back to the video. The interior discipline to die to oneself for the good of the other. Now, one could say that that's what love means, right? To will the good of the other. But I mean, what's the difference when it comes into womanhood? I mean, that's just a question that popped into my head. Once you said that that's what you think it actually means to be a man.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, and it's also it's also the same for both. Women would die to herself or her children and her husband. But and mostly, when I would say, as far as manhood goes, because men are the leaders of the family, the head of the family, the priesthood of the domestic family, we are to provide and to protect and to become the spiritual heads, the spiritual leaders of the family.
Right.
So when we die to ourselves to the greater good of the other, we are doing it in a leadership position where a woman would die to herself insofar as she doesn't, what's called, she doesn't fall under what's called the sin of Eve, which is independence outside of the mission of her husband. Right. So that's this is the major issues that we're getting with the feminist movement. So for me, what differs is love in the action is the same. It's to die for the good, but the gender roles are different in as far as what you're required and what they have the right and justice to do for the other person.
Good. I want to try that question because many other people that I would hear that would be like, okay, but what about the women? Now it's not that central. So now we got to that nitty gritty, right? Love it has its meaning, but the roles are different. Now, and I will say something very important. I obviously I've been married for about a year and what is it now? I don't even know, like 7 months or something. I don't know. Like 7 months, like a year and 8 months or something.
Yeah.
And I would tell you that my interior life has kind of, let's say, makes more sense to be alive once I've been married. Because now, by natural law and by divine law, I am called and expected to be the Christ and the crucifix for the wife, which is the church.
Right.
Because, before I was married, I mean, I would love everybody, right? Or I would try to love everybody. Jesus asked us to. But once you go into marriage as a man, the bar goes way up.
Yeah.
The bar goes way up. And if I believed that I was a patient person, it was nothing what I thought.
Yeah.
So, and if I believe that I love the most before I even get married, that's not true. And that's why I love this vocation, because it kind of like unlocks the deepest desire of a man to give oneself to the other just because you love that person and you're not expecting anything in return. I think this is huge.
That's beautifully said. Do you have any kids yet?
No, man. Pray for us. Pray for us. I would just
absolutely.
Whenever God wants, we're just working through.
Absolutely, yeah. And whatever God wants, that's absolutely correct. That's a good way to look at it, And I would say, to piggyback off of what you said, which is beautifully said and displayed, it becomes a lot more evident once that first child comes. Now it's
I bet you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now the providing, the protecting, and the spiritual sense, it's like it that quadruples at the once that baby's here.
How old are your kids right now? Your children?
Yeah, I got an 8 year old, a 6 year old, a 4 year old, and a 7 month old.
You know, you really know what you're talking about. So you got to
Well,
give me some tips.
I'm learning every day. I'm trying to be the best father and husband I can, and it's a daily struggle, as you know, and as anybody would know. So I'm really just trying to dig deep inside and try to ask for God the grace to help me do that. So
That's great, bro. That's great. Thank you so much for your work and the love that you have for your family and the church.
thank
Man,
you.
tell me
You
what,
too.
when we're looking to manhood, what are those things that we really need to be like looking on or like putting a loop on top to truly become that man that God is calling us to be? What are those things? What are those areas that we should be looking upon?
Sure. I would say first and foremost is looking at yourself and your predominant vices, and try to really know yourself, your temperament, what kind of vices those temperament really gravitate towards. We have certain temperaments, and certain temperaments gravitates. I'm a sanguine phlegmatic, so there's a lot of gluttony and what's called the concupiscible appetite that you can gravitate towards. So really knowing what your struggles are and attacking those. I believe it was Saint Vincent Ferrer, one of my favorite saints, in the treatise of the spiritual life. He really talked about picking one vice every single year. We have New Year's
Yeah,
resolution where we're always going to the gym for 1 month and then giving up, like most people, a lot of people do. So I would say, looking at yourself every single year and trying to figure out what vice you have that year that you could eradicate. And asceticism is a good thing, where you do harm to your body insofar as you deny what the flesh wants. Um, I know, I know, Saint Francis used to refer to his body as Brother ASS. That's what he used to call his body. The reason he called it that is because he says, like a donkey, sometimes it wants to go one direction and you got to pull it to the other direction because it doesn't know what he's doing. So it's really the flesh that's really trying to go one direction because we want a lesser good because it feels good. Um, but then the greater good is in the will and the intellect, and then you can direct the passions. But mostly, I would say this. This is something I learned because when I was a little bit younger, I would say even 5 years ago, I was I was like, give me all, let me take all this, give me the cold showers, give me the black coffee, give me the dead, the deadlift, give me the heavyweights, let me, let me suffer for God.
yeah,
And then I started to realize that there were so many crosses already that he was presenting to me on a daily basis, and I wasn't picking those up because I was making my own crosses, thinking that I could provide those crosses to him, and he should accept my crosses versus the ones that he was giving me. A lot of times, the crosses that he gives us are harder the crosses we want to make for ourselves. So and then it became more of a reflection on a daily life. At the end of the day, I reflect, what cross did I not pick up? Was I too harsh on my child? If the situation arises again, will I pick meekness over anger? Was it unjust? It's kind of stuff like that, the interior stuff where you could really reflect in the conscience and really
yeah.
try the next day to begin again. And so that's what I would say with man, is picking up all the crosses that you want to pick up, and suffering for God is a good thing, but don't forget the crosses that He's already sending to you on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's so true, man. That's so true. I'll say this.
Yeah,
That brings up the topic where people like kind of they're too focused into the inner self spirituality, and they
yeah,
totally forget about where the God already has put them, and,
yes,
and they totally kind of forget what was their first call. You know what I mean? So and then you just abandon that first goal and main goal or call. I mean, I'm sorry for that, and they just focus on. It's kind of selfish though. So
yeah,
it kind of breaks that doing this thing for God because I love Him, because I want to help souls in purgatory or somebody XYZ person to convert. So I'm gonna do the sacrifices. But what about the sacrifices you should be doing to begin with, but you're avoiding them because you don't choose them, but God already has given to you.
correct. Yeah, yeah. Simple one that I could think of is getting out of bed when you wake up, and not. It feels good just to lay there. You're warm and you're the lower faculties, but you have duties to do for God, and to get up and first and to offer thanksgiving and prayer. That's a cross, and that's a cross that God is giving you because He woke you up that morning.
Yeah, nobody can tell me it's a beautiful thing to just get up and pray. It's
It's
not you.
hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Like you say, it's a cross,
It is
Now,
a cross.
brave are those who are able to make it 100%, because I don't make it 100%. I'll be honest over here.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
one day I'll be able to. I will be working every day, but
yeah,
right now I haven't.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not that easy. It's not that easy, man. That's
yeah,
crazy, dude. Thank you for sharing that with us.
yeah.
I got some few weird questions I wanna say. One of them is like, I don't know, I just pop in the question. Have you watched anything about the Chosen Christian series?
No, I haven't seen a single episode, to be honest with you. I don't. I try to stay away from the TV as much as possible. I'll turn it on Sundays. We'll do a family type thing, but I haven't seen any of the Chosen episodes at all.
All right, cool. No problem then. Let's skip that. All right, y'all. Hey, my man, where can people find you? Tell them.
Oh yeah, and any streaming service, honestly. I don't have a website. I don't have a Patreon. I don't ask for money, because there's a lot of good Catholic content out there. A lot of good Catholic people who are putting out content on a regular basis that I think deserve some of that monthly income. People who are putting stuff out on a daily basis. I just put out albums, and I just ask people if you can, the last album has 16 tracks. I think it's $8.99 or $8. I don't know how much it is. I would say if you can go purchase the album. If not, it's monetized through YouTube, and it's also monetized on Spotify. So stream it, send a link to your friends, 5 friends, 10 friends, have them send it to their friends, and just get it circulating so we can get the music out there for more people to enjoy. That'll give me some extra funds to make a third album if you guys really want a third one.
Oh, for sure. Everybody go Enoch.
Thank you.
Enoch. The first album, Tradition, is the second album, Those Boats. So go out there, Apple Music, YouTube, buy the album, bro. It's $8.99. It's like an ice cream right now, bro. Come on. Get the album and love the album and just kill it. Bro, thank you so much, man. And everybody, please don't forget to pray the rosary daily.
Mhm.
And God bless you.